Yo, what up? You are now rocking with your man Lyricist. I got a special guest today from TikTok, the world of TikTok, where we be debating and going crazy and doing some man, we usually the ones that have to correct the casuals. But with no further ado, we got my man Ish here. What's going on, Ish?
Oh, nothing much, brother. Just chilling, enjoying time with the family, just living life, man. I'm thankful for you to have me on, man. This is a big moment right here.
Absolutely,
It's a
man.
big
And I
moment.
look forward to having you back here even more, man. I had to bring you on because I love the fact that you don't talk about hip hop from a point of view of a fan. You talk about, I mean, I know you are a fan of certain things, but you also have a level of appreciation where I don't have to expect to, like, deal with some casual shit. you,
Oh
you
yeah,
you know what you're talking
100%.
about. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you know what you're talking about, the details, all the way down to just like, being able to be unbiased with certain situations. I've seen you be unbiased with the whole Drake and Kendrick thing, man. So yeah, man, tell everybody about you and everything you want them to know about you, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm just a guy out here. I'm working, support my family. I'm a huge hip hop head. I love hip hop above any singular rapper. The thing about me is I truly love this stuff. I love
Mhm.
this. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the thing about me is I'm just so tired of going on social media and I'm seeing people just really trash hip hop and really just I don't know, man. It's just a lot, man. It's just a lot. But just about me, man. Me personally, I'm a simple guy, dog. I just be living life. I'm like everyone else.
Yeah.
Simply. Yeah.
But you know what,
Yeah.
man, but you have a hell of a POV, man. And you got to start sharing that shit with people, man. Because it's like you just not a norm, like a normal person. Like when it comes to like the realm of hip hop. You're a hip hop connoisseur. You know what I'm saying? You like
Yes.
you
Yes.
one of those people that really like invest the time, you know. So like if you listen to an album, you're not gonna just throw a fucking review out there because you heard it like once. Oh my god, this is great. Go into automatic glazing mode. So that's why I wanted to
I'm
bring
not.
you here. Is so
Yeah.
so so we can
Yeah.
bounce some shit up off each other. So what do you think about this whole thing that now the narrative is 300 plus K is a dud, is a failure. So like what is your thoughts on that when people, are trying to critique Kendrick right now?
Well, that kind of goes into that stimulus package that everyone loves to give Drake credit for.
Mhm.
But people don't realize that this is a very regional album. An album like this to have this kind of sound, but also have this kind of reach is unprecedented. Because if you go back even, what, 5 years ago, there wasn't no West Coast anything getting out there like this. And if it was West Coast, it was heavily influenced by the South. So to see something like this, almost 320K sold, 12 tracks, which that's a very big thing too. Not even a full week of tracking with a regional sound to do these numbers is crazy. And if anyone else thinks otherwise, I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah, and it's like
That's all I gotta say about it.
if you look at it in comparison to the other two out of the big three, like surprise albums, the performance of surprise albums, Kendrick head and shoulders is above him with the 319, 320.
Mhm.
Drake is number two with like I want to say like 209 or two something like 220 something. And Might Delete Later did only 174,000. So like with the surprise joints, Kendrick, he's actually performing well, when he's actually on par with the stuff that he's done in the past, to this point, where his numbers has been the same. If it's not 300 plus, it's like around 400 to 500. So it's been pretty consistent. I'm not, how was it acceptable then? And now all of a sudden it's a failure. I think it's weird energy. You still there, Ish? Dude, I may have lost him. Yeah, I think it's a weird concept, where people feel like you know, they're doing something, great by just being a fucking hater and just doing the usual shit. and like not really judging the way that they should judge. You should judge by the content, the the album quality. So yeah, I think people want to solidify an argument for Drake so bad, but it's like this is not the time for it. Drake has been Drake for 15 years. It's okay to give somebody else, the time to shine. But what's your thoughts, man?
Bro, at this point, yeah, Drake needs to recognize, like, he had a 15-year run of pure commercial dominance. And to come out and try to say that someone else was using bots or anything like that to try to take over his long running, like his run of dominance, is crazy to me. As
Mm-hmm.
if Kendrick couldn't do this without any other outside sources. And he's proven that
Right.
on Damn. Like, he had
Yeah.
a full commercial dominating year with Damn. Like, sold over 600,000 copies without any Drake anything attached to it. So that's
Exactly.
crazy to me that like Drake would think something like that.
And the thing is like when Drake, people don't tell the full story about how they linked up. They just like, oh, Drake just wanted to, go on tour together. No, he heard Section 80. And he's like, man, this fucking guy is phenomenal. And when he found out that he was in Toronto, then that's when he wanted to link up with him. After he heard Section 80. Not because, he was just making his noise and, he's like, you know what? Let me get this guy a shot. I hate when people fucking like say like it's hip hop, man. You will hope that somebody try to bring you in.
Yeah,
And that's the
absolutely.
part that I hate, man.
Of course, of course. And look, shout outs to Drake for, like being that person that was still looking deep down into hip hop for other talent. Shout outs to him
Mm-hmm.
because, again, you know, as much as I would even hate to admit it, yeah, a little bit could be attributed to Drake as far as like Kendrick's success, like early
Yeah.
on, but we can only give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that Section 80 didn't sell well, but we in hip hop don't care about sales. It is what is good. So, whatever about that. Fine.
Yeah.
Drake helped Kendrick get to like a certain place, but ultimately it was really just Kendrick. Like,
Mm-hmm.
overall it was just Kendrick. But yeah, again, shout out to Drake though, man. He really was like he essentially kind of ushered in his own downfall. Like, I wish he would have exercised some sense of foresight for this because I
Man,
don't
you
think
heard me
he
say on
himself,
TikTok, bro.
yeah, like I don't think he himself would have figured that the person that he supposedly put on would be his undoing in 2024. So, man, round of applause for Drake,
Yeah. For that complete lack of lack of foresight. And
man.
and the worst part about that is that Damn would have showed me an album that he outsold you that year. That would have showed me like, okay, yeah, he for real.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like I wouldn't have been like, on some hater shit. And it's like, it's cool to be competitive, but it's what made it worse for him was the things that he said in those interviews. It wasn't the
oh,
fact that he didn't want to engage in the battle. It was the fact that he was being dismissive in his interviews as if he was a fucking cockroach. And
yeah, exactly.
years of doing that led to like what happened.
Well, shoot, if
That's
you really
I
think
ain't never.
about it, it's like it's kind of like David and Goliath, essentially.
No,
You thought you
it's
was
like
the
a
giant.
hey
Yeah,
that was the cockroach with the big boot. That's what that
yeah,
was.
pretty much,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah,
So it's like
the cock, it was a rat. It was the rabbit.
yeah,
It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
yep, exactly, absolutely,
Yeah,
man. It's
man.
like go ahead.
Yeah. So a large part of what attributed to Drake's downfall this year was just what you said. Underestimating Kendrick and then just kind of trying to do a hit 20 birds with one stone kind of deal and think that, you're too big of an artist to, you know, just take on Kendrick alone, like just him alone. You could deal with everyone else because your fan base has gassed you up to be that guy. And then when it came down to show and prove, you know, Kendrick essentially got you up out of here. And really, if you go back to even like Family Matters, Rick Ross caught like most of the bullets of that song. Like he was going at Rick Ross crazy, even crazier than Kendrick. So
And I
you
said that
just,
shit.
yeah, you're dividing your attention to too many people at once, thinking that you could handle everybody, and really you couldn't.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, he has some good heavy shots for Rick Ross, but I still think that Rick Ross shit fucked him up though. I think Rick Ross cooked him though. It's like, and nobody want to say it. It's probably an unpopular hip hop opinion, but I'm gonna say it. I think Rick Ross got him too. And then that BBL Drizzy shit, oh man, that shit went crazy. But it's like that's just, and people gonna see this like, oh, he's being a glazer, man. Fuck y'all. Uh, yeah, you know, I'm just saying, as a person that's like a hip hop purist, I see this shit, and I'm like, I love battles. I love battles, man. I've been in quite a few myself, and it's just like being engaged and being in that environment, man. It's like being able to think on your feet. That's the battle shit I'm used to. It's like being
Yeah,
face to face with somebody, having to go in for about a minute and a half, and then your
yeah, yeah,
final
yeah.
round being 3.5 minutes. I'm used to that. So, seeing how this stuff played out, and it's just, I think that overall approach, I looked at it, I said, Drake, you going about this shit wrong, man. That push-up shit, yeah, you had a couple hot lines for him that was, it was repeatable for the moment, but you'll hear nobody talking about that 7-inch foot shit now, do they?
Not
They
at all.
talking about shoe size now, are they? So,
Not
to
at all.
to get stepped on
It was
like that,
cute.
yeah,
It was
it was
cute,
cute for
but
that moment.
yeah, pretty much. And you know what? To go back to your battling days and just kind of like the rules of engagement when it comes to just battling in hip hop or beef or anything of that nature. Like Drake really came in and tried to change up the rules of engagement. You can't do that in a rap beef. It's no holds barred. There's really no rules until now. I feel like people finally found the line they needed to draw. It's with the P3DO allegations and this, that, and the other. That was the line that they decided to draw. I've seen, or better yet, heard some crazy, egregious things being said between rappers, whether it's in like the battle rap circuit or even on tracks, dissing other rappers. Some pretty egregious stuff. But this is where we draw the line. That's why I don't understand. Because again, before this, it was never, this is unprecedented that this is being brought up in a pre-lawsuit, because I'm not calling it a petition. It's a pre-lawsuit. That's all it is. It's crazy. It's wild that your feelings are so hurt that you are willing to sacrifice your reputation to change the engagements of rap and try to squeeze juice out of a lemon that's already been juiced. Essentially, you're trying to get whatever W you can from this, and you're going out sad doing so. Quit, just take the L humbly and keep making the hits that you used to. If you would have just walked away from this, everything would have been fine. But now you're trying to change the narrative and change the rules of engagement. And this is why people are looking at you crazy now. I never would have thought that someone in hip hop would have took a nastier L than Ja Rule. This
You and
is
me
like,
both.
bro, like he at least Ja Rule went down with dignity.
Ja Rule kept it hip hop.
Yeah, he
He
went down
kept
with
it hip
dignity.
hop.
He took his
All the
loss.
things. Like look, him and 50, like they essentially they've been in fist fights. People
Yep.
got stabbed, people got shot, and they wasn't no lawsuits, wasn't no, I mean, yeah, of course it was the allegations of snitching. Of course they're gonna try to put some stuff like that out there to discredit, but they try to discredit for hip hop. They wanted you to see he wasn't hip hop enough. That's why they wanted to make 50 out to be a rat. So, we witnessing like Drake publicly punch a pillow because he's upset. Like, bro, you are as soft as they said you are. You're not the same guy that dropped charged up. You ain't the same guy that did back to back. You the motherfucker that cried about it. You ain't the person that dropped the Duppy freestyle. You ain't the person that brushed off one of the members of Slaughterhouse like he wasn't shit. That's the problem. It's like that same swag you had then. Where did it go? Because Kendrick actually was somebody you should have paid attention to. He was a whole lot closer than what you thought he was in the 1, 2, 3 race.
Yep. And that's what people don't want to consider. Like they mistake Drake's dominance on the billboards for him being a, how do I want to say this? He's battle tested. I will always give him credit for always coming out, and you know, he never ducks smoke. So I'll always give him credit for that. But there was also something about Drake, just about him and his career of just dominating hits, albums, sales, all this, that, and the other. It's just like that got to his head more so than him actually having to go out there and battle Kendrick in just straight up hip hop fashion, because Kendrick is not Meek. Drake out hit Meek, because Back to Back wasn't a scathing diss. Like it wasn't a career-ending diss. There was nothing like crazy about it that was said within the diss. Like, is that a world tour or your girls tour? Like, that's okay. It's cute. Oh, you Twitter fingers and you're getting bodied by a singing nigga. Like, no, it doesn't matter. It's cute.
It was all surface level shit.
Yeah, but like, you thought you can do that to Kendrick. Meanwhile, Kendrick is the type of rapper that does character breakdowns and analysis and will put it in a rap song and break down your entire character. Basically, Kendrick raps like a movie critic, breaking down what they feel is good or trash about a movie and then putting it out there in intricate detail. That's what Kendrick does.
that's
Drake just kind of just does little cute shit that people can make into, you know, Twittergram captions or whatever. Like, yeah, that's kind of what he does. It's like, what's going to appear as kind of funny, silly, hee hee ha ha for the masses? Because the only thing that Drake really had on his side at the time was the numbers. Numbers don't really play so much a part in this situation anymore. It's more about what people within the hip hop sphere perceive you as now. Because again, like your casual fans pretty much essentially abandoned you at this point. All the people that are just kind of stepping in and out, the Drake fans are going to ride for you no matter what. But I feel like their voices are shrinking. Like they're nowhere near as loud as they could be, because again, this lawsuit really got them in a chokehold right now. It's a checkmate for them. Well, not for them, against them. Because like it's a checkmate against them, because like at this point, your GOAT lost so bad. He got his ass kicked so bad. He had to go and put it into litigation.
If people don't put that shit in perspective, it's like, bro, it's levels to this rap shit, man. I'm like, are you telling me, and you may not know who this is, or you may know who he is. So are you telling me Andy Milonakis is a tougher white boy than you are?
I know Eddie. I used to watch his show.
Right. Shoot. So yeah, as many times as he been dissed and everything else because he loved hip hop. That's one thing about Andy Milonakis, but he loved hip hop, man. He followed that shit. He engaged in rap battles and everything. Are you telling me Andy Milonakis is more hip hop than you? Just like, if people put that shit, y'all can Google Andy Milonakis. Y'all find out he's a fucking 45-year-old man that looked like a 12-year-old.
Yeah. I didn't know that he was battle rapping. I didn't know he was actually.
Yeah, man. Look, he battle rap, well, not for real, on some funny shit. But you know, he battle rap with like, you know, other rappers and content creators and shit like that. And you know, some crazy shit was said. But yeah, it's like, you know, are you telling me people like that is tougher than you? Are you telling me Mariah Carey is more hip hop than you, bro?
The Dream.
The Dream is more hip hop. It's like,
Oh
bro, it's
man.
like that whole camp can't battle worth shit. I don't care what nobody say. Nicki got body, Wayne got body, Drake got body. You know, Tiger Hairline got body, but he paid for a new one. You know, so that whole I don't know where the fuck Jay Mills is. His career got body along with Gutter Gutters. It's like, you know,
It's sad because Corey Guns actually had potential.
who?
You know,
I'm sorry.
yeah, exactly. But he had potential. He did.
He did.
He
He
did at
did.
one point. He did at one point. But you know, you signed with the wrong label, man. They only prioritize their cream of the crop. And it's, you know what else is kind of interesting about Young Money? It's not even that other artists are bodying them. They're bodying themselves with like their own stories, their own like allegations and everything that's coming out about them. It's like they're their own worst enemies at this point.
And
Like
I don't think
I
they
don't
see
even
that.
want to go into like the entire like
Too
lore
much.
of Nicki Minaj and Drake and all that, because at this point, what else there need to be to say? Like it's all out there. It's
Yeah,
like
we're
all of it
watching it
is
now.
just laid out. It's cold tea on the cold winter floor. We've all
Mhm.
seen it. It doesn't even matter at this point. Like it's just bad. But I do want to kind of like pivot just a little bit
Go
to
ahead,
like the
pivot, man.
Wayne situation. I want to
Uh-oh.
pivot over to the Wayne situation because the Wayne thing is bothering me.
I
And
know how
this
you
is
feel about
why.
Wayne.
Look, I have nothing against Wayne personally, but a lot of people are going to like take it as me hating. And of course they're going to, because if Wayne ain't a top 5 rapper to me, or if I'm questioning if Wayne could or couldn't beat somebody in a rap battle, then you know I'm not enough of a Wayne fan. All right, cool, whatever. Yeah, we got to stop with the we got to stop with um these Wayne, you know, agendas. We got to stop with, you know, Wayne agendas in 2024. We have to stop it because we're over here talking about a man who, in his prime, got bodied by Pusha T and Gilly, and in his prime, not this year, Wayne, like between 2006 and 2012,
And
prime
50
Wayne
Cent.
and 50 Cent, and just a little bit Jay-Z sprinkled in there too. But
Yeah.
again, this Wayne is not a battle tested rapper. He even said it himself. Battle rap is not something that he really does. Cool. Nothing wrong with admitting that. But I'm trying to figure out with Wayne fans, like, where in Wayne's career do y'all feel that Wayne actually has basically what it takes to battle anybody in the industry in terms of a feud or a beef or anything like that? It's already shown that he can't really do that. He doesn't know how to respond well because this man is a puncher. He punchlines. That's his specialty. But when it comes to breaking down someone's character or getting tea or anything like that,
He can't
it's
do
just
it.
like, nah, he
He
can't do it.
said it
It's just very
himself.
surface level. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
he said it
admirable.
himself.
It's admirable if you just want to punch, you know, just make little punches here and there and everything. But like, it's not going to make a lasting impact because, again, with Push and Gilly, those were assessments of Wayne's character. But with Wayne, those are just surface level punches that, you know, his fans can easily digest. And on top of that, no one in the industry outside of the hip hop meta was really checking for Push and Gilly at that time. So
Right.
Wayne essentially walked away from those feuds
Unscathed.
basically unscathed, scratch
Yeah.
free. So cool. He managed to duck that, continue his career, make hits. Cool. I'm here to tell everyone who may watch this somewhere down the line, Wayne will not be afforded the same luxury trying Kendrick. He will not.
No.
Y'all are going to be going back into this man's entire career, reassessing it after Kendrick is done with him.
Hey, but you know what made people reassess this shit though? It was Pusha though. Just think about it, because when Pusha dropped Exodus, after the years after Mr. Me Too, right? When he dropped Exodus, had everybody looking up like, what you gonna do, way? that's what put the spotlight on Ghoulish being one of the worst hip hop diss records ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there, it's like Push has this way of putting the spotlight on rappers that already have the spotlight, but it have you look at them differently. Nobody after Ghoulish, after the Exodus thing, after Infrared and shit, nobody looked at Wayne the same. And it's like, I know people want to give him like the pat on the back because, oh yeah, he was on 2 songs with Eminem and he was able to keep up. Did he really? I know you're not an M fan, but I'm like, did he really? If you go back and you digest those bars and like deliveries, especially in Drop the World, Wayne had such a basic delivery. It's like his punches was okay, but it's like I would say this. He lucky 50 kind of ignored that shit because if Banks would have jumped in, you would have seen what a real punchline battle rapper does. Banks would have fucked him up.
Sleep on him.
Banks would
sleep on Banks.
Look, Banks. When Banks did you look, Rick Ross is still mad at that nigga to this day. Every chance he get, he always throwing the line at Banks. Every chance he get, because Banks smoked him. Go back on that Juicy. It's crazy, man.
I'm gonna have to go back on that. But yeah, absolutely, 100% Banks. People don't give Banks the credit he deserves because, again, like Banks was like an elite puncher. That was his thing. He was an elite puncher back in the day, and even now he still has it. But it's all about numbers. It's about popularity now. It ain't even about how well you perform lyrically. It's just what position are you on the billboards? How much did you sell? That's why people hate this comparison, and I'm gonna still keep putting it out there because it still checks. Like the McDonald's comparison. Like I tell people all the time, McDonald's sells the most food of any restaurant in the entire world. Does that mean it's the best food?
Nope.
I mean, just because it sells more doesn't necessarily make it better. It just means they have better marketing. Right. It is more readily available. They provide a neutral palate. Like, you're not going to be going out. Not everyone could go out and have lobster and fish and crab and this, that, and the other. But most people could go out and have burgers and fries and nuggets. So it's all about being able to cater to as many people, provide a convenience, and be, just have plenty of stores open for everyone to be able to, come and eat. That's what I feel about like a lot of commercial music nowadays. It feels the same way. The way it's advertised, it's just music that satisfies a very neutral palate in music. That's how I feel about a lot of music nowadays. And it's trickled down to hip hop, and I would say, namely Drake. Artists like him.
But that's a great comparison. But you know what McDonald's business model is, right?
What is it?
It was never about food. It was always about real estate. What? You can't go 3 miles without seeing another McDonald's. It doesn't matter how close to you are. It has always been about real estate. Yeah, you can get a burger, but it was always about owning real estate.
Yeah.
Every McDonald's you see it's like 3 to 5 miles apart. Anywhere in the United States of America, anywhere in the world, you'll see if you go to one McDonald's, you got another McDonald's. See, Burger King didn't have that. That's why they was able to, trump them. And that's the same thing with Drake. Drake understands the McDonald's real estate approach, their business model, real estate. So the more you put out, the more music you put out, you can't lose because you have the appearance of consistency. You are always within grasp. Instead of somebody having to go look for the lobster meal or the lobster steak, combo, just to keep it simple after a long day, just go grab a burger, go home, turn on your TV, boom. You instantly satisfied.
Wow, that checks. And that checks even more thinking about that 2018 situation with Spotify and how he was on everyone's playlist. There's also the marketing aspect of it as well.
Yep.
I'm like, man, that checks even harder now. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
Oh wow, you dropped the gem right there. That's a big gem.
Yeah, and it's like, if because that's the part of me, like, like with the business aspect, I study everybody's mottos. Elon Musk all the way down to McDonald's, man. And it's just understanding how the business mind work. And that's the part where people gotta take their hat off to Drake. Drake understands being more accessible. It's the numbers game. That's why when he dropped those albums, people tell him, dude, just do a 10 to 12 song album. Nope, I'm dropping 24. Because he knows you flood the charts, everybody gonna have to always hear you everywhere they go. So eventually they'll play it enough. It grows on people. I'm like, it grew on people to the point to where it is. It's like on TikTok, it's all over the place. It goes viral. So it's viral within viral. Drake understands that business model. So he tried to do it again in the time where it is. Kendrick did it too. That's why Kendrick, he kept dropping on him. Every time he dropped 2. He dropped even 2 songs on them. Kendrick understand, like, if that's the model you're going to use and you're going to play that game, I'm going to go back to back to back to back. Let's see how you handle that. He couldn't handle it.
Smart way to do it. That was a smart way to do it too, because again, Kendrick doesn't play the numbers game. I notice he's more of kind of like, I'll just drop whenever I want to, and he kind of keeps his fans. I don't know how to explain this in a way that would where I can convey it the best, but it's like Drake is constantly feeding his fans, whereas Kendrick, it's like holding out for Thanksgiving dinner. You woke up at like 8 a.m. and you ain't gonna eat until 8 p.m. and they tell you ain't getting nothing to eat, because if you eat something, you ain't gonna eat the food that we're gonna serve you because you're gonna be too full. So Kendrick makes people hold out, but it always feels like the holdout is worth the wait. And that's what I've been missing from Drake releases in the last close to 4 years, well, about 5 years almost. Because every album that dropped, I feel like I just heard the other one a year ago. And it feels like each drop is getting worse and worse. Why not take a break and get inspired? Like this album, G-Next, that dropped, I feel like this album is going to be played in the whip for a long time. It just has immense amount of replay value. And the album just scratches different itches in my brain that no other album has in a long time, whether it be the way the flows are, the way Kendrick uses his voice, the production, the themes. It really is a truly thoughtful project. And I want that from Drake, a thoughtful project, not a project where he's trying to appease so many different fan bases in one album, and the album loses its identity overall.
Yep.
I just want just a straight. The last time we got that was what? It was Nothing Was the Same.
Nothing Was the Same.
That was the last time we got like an album with Drake's full vision intact. And after that, it was just, I'm gonna throw in some patois, I'm gonna throw in some reggaeton, I'm gonna do a little bit of R&B here, take it down south. We might go over to the West Coast for a little bit. We're gonna head back up to Toronto. And I'm like, why not just make a Drake album? Why appease so many different fan bases? You're Drake. You're awesome.
Yeah, because he's seen at that time that shit wasn't gonna work. See, Drake had a mindset to be a billionaire. That's why he committed to the business like that. He's like, you know what? These people like me. So he committed to having mental real estate. That's it. Occupying people's thoughts when they think hip hop. Oh, Drake. Having real estate in somebody's head to that degree. And that's the problem with the Drake fans. They're comfortable with him being there, and everything he does is good to them because he's giving them more. That's fine. I mean, you can get more, but doesn't mean that it's good. Oh, I just want to, I just want to vibe. Okay, you can vibe, but on what level? What frequency? That's why I tell people, I'm
Oh,
like, and that's why I tell people that, when Drake dropped For All the Dogs, and I had to choose between For All the Dogs and Andre 3000's Flute album, I went for the Flute album first because the frequency. I respect somebody trying to do something differently. And I'm already one of those people that, I like the vibe and, chill with, like mood music or meditation music. I'm that type of guy when I'm not listening to all the other stuff. So when I went from that, I'm fully prepared. I'm ready to listen to, a hip hop album on any level. I'm listening to Drake shit and I'm like, oh man, he rushed this. I hear it off.
mm,
Dude, I had the album 12 hours before everybody else did. So I'm listening to it and I'm like, and one of the guys on TikTok, Blackjack, he heard it too
yeah.
after I heard it. And we both reviewed it together. And I said, can you hear like where like the production, it wasn't mixed properly and everything, like the vocals on certain tracks? I'm like, he just released this. He just said, you know what? Let's drop it. And when people start witnessing that, and he started witnessing that, people like, yeah, I don't like how this sounds. It don't sound good. Then 24 hours later, he released a new mix, an updated master mix. And even
Oh,
then, I was like, man, I can't fuck with it because I'm like, it sound bad. Like, and also I'm like, why is your features better than you? You're Drake.
oh
Why is
yeah.
your features outshining you? Why is the production outshining you? So
Yeah.
I had to circle
Yeah.
back around, came Scary Hours 3, man. I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is good. This is good. This is what I expect from Drake. Not that other shit. And people
Yeah.
thought I was a dick because
Drake,
I gave him a bad rating.
it's not a good album, bro.
It's not.
He had to attach DLC
Yeah,
to his initial album to make it better.
which is
That's
fucking sad.
that, exactly like why not just have the initial project be good? Like we didn't necessarily need you to tack this on, but I'm actually glad that he did because he gave us some of the best tracks he did in years. But then again, that's just me wanting the more hip hop oriented Drake. And everyone likes Drake for their own reasons in terms of what musical output he has. And I think that's also the problem with Drake is that he is a jack of all trades, but not really a master at anything. I was talking to a few people about this. Um, being good at a whole bunch of things, or not even being good, just being okay at a whole bunch of things, and passing it off as being versatile doesn't make you a good artist. Like just being able to do a few things like, oh, I can go into my dance hall vibe or reggaeton vibe.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that the product is going to come out good. Excuse me.
I
But
agree.
one thing I noticed is I prefer someone who's a master at one thing than someone who's versatile.
Mhm.
Versatile artists are overrated, honestly. I don't need an artist to do every single thing. And that's why R&B is dead nowadays because rappers want to sing on their own hooks and can't find anyone talented enough in this day and age to sing on their hooks. Like you got Drake covering his own hooks and all that for the most part, but he won't go out and reach out to other singers to do it for him. So
Yep.
that's why I appreciate, the Pusha T's, the Stove God Cooks, the Aesop Rocks.
Mhm.
People like this who are so dedicated to that one thing that they're really good at and have mastered. I would rather listen to okay, better I'll put it this way. I would rather listen to 10 artists that are a master at one thing than one artist that can do 10 things okay. Because then I get a variety of artists who can do that one thing and I can go to that one artist for that one thing and be
Right.
satisfied with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I think I got it now. Can't really go to. You can't really. I think I understand it now.
Yeah.
You can't go to someone like Drake and be happy with his album anymore because Drake is not doing the one thing that he's really good at. He's just trying to appease everybody. He's making playlists now. He's not even making albums anymore. He's just making glorified playlists.
It's microwave music. Heat it up, spit it out.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. Not to be overly critical, but it is what it is. It's like, yeah, people go listen to the pod, they gonna be like, yeah, man, these guys are Drake haters. No, we actually want to see Drake win, but Drake is in his own way right now with the lawsuits, with the fucking XQC streamer bullshit. There's a ton of stuff in his way. All he needs to do is just fall back. That's all we say. Fall back, get back to your art, and that's it. That's all that matters. I mean, your fucking side bitch, J. Cole, keep telling you to go back to your music. Go ahead and go back to your music, man. Focus.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. The coleslaws ain't going to be happy with you.
Yeah, I know the coleslaws. I haven't heard that shit before. That's good. Yeah, man, J. Cole, he annoyed the fuck out of me in 2024, bro. He annoyed the shit out of me, bro.
Same here. Like they made that man out to be some kind of prophet. Like he knew exactly how everything was going to turn out in this beef. So they could justify him apologizing and then pulling out of the feud. Like, come on, man. He folded. Just call it what it is. It's all right. If he wants to, it's not all right. But, if that's the excuse that you want to accept, cool. But, bro, why are you throwing stones and hiding your hand at this point? You said what you had to say. Go full force with it.
Yeah, and that's weird. It's like he's trying to bait Kendrick to do more. Okay, yeah. You got more on Whacked Out Mirrors. he said some more to you there. It's like, but what you gonna do next? It's like he's really not concerned with you at all. Now he's like, bro, he even like said it in so many ways on the album. Like, you won't pick a side, that's fine. I'll pick one for you. And it's fuck all of y'all. Yeah. It's just that's just the way it is, man. But yeah, man.
I love this, man. I love this for hip hop, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we can finally see the big three being dismantled in front of our eyes, and maybe we can finally start talking about some other niggas for once.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about these dudes.
So I want to end the pod on this topic right here. A real quick topic. Yeah. It's fair to say, because I seen the disrespect recently at LL Cool J when he did an interview, and he said that when it's all said and done, people are going to say that he was the most important hip hop artist to have ever exist. Now, I think it was, he took it a little further than what I care, but I also understand what he's saying because of the things that he introduced to hip hop, the flashiness and all that other shit. He was a big component of that. How deal structures work, the importance of Def Jam. He was that, the product deals that he had when he was wearing the Kango hats. He brought sponsorships to hip hop. That it's just a lot of that stuff, was significant because of him. And when I was reading some of the comments, people was like, "Oh yeah, Unc, your time is over with. Nah, we'd never respect you and all that other shit." And I'm like, okay, that's cool though. So you deny a living legend respect, but who do you have in your generation from this last 10 years? And I'm not giving y'all Cole. I'm not giving y'all Kendrick. I'm not giving y'all Drake. I'm not giving y'all A$AP Rocky. I'm not giving y'all Travis Scott. I'm talking about who y'all got from the last 10 years. Maybe the only person you could possibly have in that conversation is NBA Youngboy, but right now he is in his own way. Who y'all got? Because everybody else has expired.
Exactly,
Juice WRLD is gone. Pop Smoke is gone. XXX is gone. Mac Miller is gone. But you know what? Out of the four I just named, three of them still belong to the previous generation of hip hop. So who they got? Lil Peep?
In this day and age, bro, I don't think anyone's even focused on being a hip hop superstar anymore. Like they're just out here satisfying their own fan bases. So
Yeah.
it's
There's
just
no
kind of
legends,
like,
man.
yeah, there's no legends anymore. I don't feel like no one wants to be. They are in hip hop to cash out because right now it's such an easy thing to do in comparison to any other genre of music right now. You come in, you find a hit that pretty much takes from what anyone from the big three is doing or anyone who's kind of big three adjacent. You take that sound, you put your own little spin on it, and then you throw it out there and hope that people latch on to it. No one wants to build on their own artistry. They don't want to kind of flesh out who they could really be within hip hop. And that's unfortunate because LL Cool J is a one of one. And like whatever disrespect is coming his way has to stop. Because you tell me another rapper who is 40 years into a hip hop career and is able to drop passion projects. People was clowning LL Cool J about dropping that last album, The Force, which was a pretty solid project in my opinion. It was solid.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
It was a solid project. He was making that album just to make it. He wasn't making it for chart success or anything like that. It sold modestly, but that's not what the album was for. He did it because, and it's nothing like LL Cool J has ever made before. Like that album is completely different in comparison to anything else that he's made back in the past. Like he just wanted to put out a passion project just because he could. Like this dude don't ever have to drop another project again. Yep. This dude is set. Like we're talking like he's some broke bum or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't been on TV. Like he hasn't been on TV for like 2 decades.
And that level of disrespect fucking sucks, man. I tell people, I'm like, guess what? He on somebody's Mount Rushmore. Not eat. Yeah. He ain't on shit. Lil Baby ain't on shit. The Baby ain't on shit. They disrespect them. That's the hottest they got right now. Is those two. Yeah. That's the only true lyricists from this fucking this generation. It's those two. You know, they don't respect Denzel Curry.
That's crazy because Denzel nice.
It's like, Denzel that's what I'm saying. It's like, the people they should respect. Oh, I ain't trying to hear that rappity rap shit. You ain't got to hear that rappity rap shit. But if you want a vibe, actually catch a vibe that actually like, coincide with a lot more than just mumbling. Yeah. Absolutely. But they're gonna hear this shit. Look at the lyricist being an old head again. Yeah. Your mom appreciate it.
Look, man, it's not about even being an old head, man. It's just about like, what do you want out of hip hop? Like, are you in it for the lyricism or are you in it for the vibes? There's so much that is offered out here. And I think that's what I love about hip hop the most. There's something for everybody. But the thing is, you don't need to disrespect one aspect of hip hop to give props to another.
Exactly.
Just because you prefer the vibes doesn't necessarily mean you have to attack the people who enjoy more lyrically focused hip hop, and I enjoy both. I like my vibes too, and I like lyrical, miracle, schmiracle. I bomb atomically with Socrates' philosophies. I like all that stuff. I love it all. There's so much to enjoy. Why be miserable and focus on stuff that you don't enjoy and critique it as if you even really know anything about it when you can just go and enjoy the stuff that you like?
Yeah, man. I'll be cracking up when you be dropping that in some of these lives. The Inspector Deck voice. like bars and shit, man. Shit. That'd be fucking with them. I'm like, what? I can tell a lot of them like where did that come from? They not connect like that's actual bars, from a different like hip hop bars.
And that's the thing that is the epitome of the lyrical miracle spiritual. That is the epitome song because again, there's like that song, while it is a masterful display of lyricism, it's like, I didn't really get anything out of it. It was just this dude is just basically saying how great of a rapper he is.
Yeah.
In his own way,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just flexing his lyrical ability, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, sure wrote that off. All right, man. We gonna close this out. Shit, man. This is a nice pod, man. Shit, almost an hour. But yeah, man. Before we get out of here, you want to tell people where they can follow you and share whatever else you want to share.
Shoot, absolutely, man. I go by Ish Karim. You can follow me on TikTok, or don't, do whatever you want. But,
Follow this guy.
I prefer you do because, I'm trying to get my follower count up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But hey, I just be yapping sometimes. Maybe I might drop a gem on you here and there, but yeah.
You got some good
follow
content,
brother.
Man. Yeah. Make sure y'all follow him. All right, y'all. Until the next Lyricist podcast, we appreciate y'all. Peace.